We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
All right, everybody. First episode of Deep in the Game, and we have a very, very special guest. We have the man, the myth, the legend, CFL Hall of Famer and Saskatchewan Rough Rider great, Don Narcisse. Don, thank you so much for hopping in and talking with your little nephew.
Yeah. Hey, man, I really, you know what? Tell you the truth. I really appreciate you. You didn't reach out to me. I reached out to you. And the reason why I reached out to you, because I saw the things that you were doing on this podcast, man. I was like, man, I gotta get this guy, man. I gotta make sure I hit him up, man. hey, man, it's one message I wanna share with you first, because I know something that happened the other day or whatever. Somebody sent you something. I just want to give you this little message. People who talk behind your back are not worth your time. The only people who talk behind your back are those who are afraid to confront you directly. People talk behind your back because they are jealous of your success. Don't let the opinions of others define you. And I wanted to tell you that, man, I'm so happy about what you are doing. You are different from everybody else, and you keep doing what you're doing. Everybody not going to like what you're doing, but that's okay. It's fine. But the people that do, like me, I love you, bro.
It's all love, Unc. You know I love you. I really appreciate that word right there.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you. Thank you. To get validation from you and any other Hall of Famer, man, that means a lot, because I look to y'all the elder statesmen, and I just want to learn from y'all. So, but this is about you. And I got my little stats right here. I did my little index card. So let me give the people that don't really know who Don Narcisse is. I do have one question though.
Okay.
Your nickname, was it really Narco?
Yeah, it was Narco. Yeah. yeah. It was Narco. Yeah. That was my nickname right there. Yeah. Somebody came up with it, and then next thing you know, it blew up. Kent Austin was one of the guys that really gave me that name, and man, it went off. So yeah.
So I'm gonna give you go down the resume of the great Don Narcisse now, everybody. Went to Texas Southern, HBCU, man. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. In a career, 919 receptions, 75 touchdowns, 12,366 receiving yards. He was a 4-time CFL All-Star. Do they even play an All-Star game, really, or is that just like a thing?
No, we didn't play an All-Star game.
He had 2 Grey Cup appearances. He won one in 89, lost one in 97. We talked about that. We're going to go into that too as well. He does have the professional football record, if I'm not mistaken, for most consecutive games with 1 reception in it. And he has 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Well, dang. And now they say to you 5'9". And you know they be inflating those numbers. So, Unc, is you 5'9" with the cleats? Because I know y'all
I'm 5'9" and a half.
Was you a Nike guy, or were you
You know what? I was one of those guys. I just got the work done. I didn't care what I wore, what I had on.
But you know what? But you know what though? The thumbnail for this, I had to find the right picture for you, man. And I did I give you one? Did I get the right one?
Yeah. For you? That was a nice one. I love that one. Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be petty. I'm not a petty person, but I was like, the one with the big Coke bottle glasses. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do up like that.
Nah. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing with those glasses. Yeah, I was getting beside myself.
Something.
Yeah.
So let's dive into. I wanted you to be able to tell your story. Now you were born in Port Arthur, Texas.
Texas. Yes.
Tell us about your early life. What was it like growing up in Port Arthur, Texas? And tell us about your family, your upbringing, things like that. Tell the people about who.
Well, my family, man. I came from a family of 6. I had a total of 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Family of 6, man. We're from Port Arthur, Texas. My dad, he worked 2 jobs. My mom, she would work sometimes, but my dad was the provider for the house and stuff like that. But man, it was it was something, you know, to be in Port Arthur and playing football. You know, my deal is this is that when I was playing, I was a little kid, man. I used to play in the streets, and I used to catch the football, and that's where I got my name, man. And that's how I would catch the football in the neighborhood. And next thing you know, people picking me from, you know, older guys that was older. I was younger, and I still was catching football. So, yeah, man, it was something.
Growing up for you in Port Arthur, Texas, was there anybody that inspired you as an athlete? Like, was there any football players, basketball players, anybody that you looked to was like, I love their game, I like what they represent, I would love to just one day be able to grace the field and do something similar to what they did?
Well, growing up, I met my coach. His name was Coach Washington, and Coach Washington had a son named Joe Washington. And he played for the Redskins. Dude was cold. He was the only one that had the one. He had the little mask, but he had the one bar. And he was a running back. Oh man, he's off the chain. Yeah. And I had never met him, right? Never met him in my life. But I used to always, as a kid, I always seen him. And I got a chance to meet him. I got a chance to meet him like in 1995 for Baltimore. Baltimore Stallions came down we was playing a game against the Baltimore Stallions, and he came and he was a commentator, and he came over and was talking to me, right? And I'm stretching, and I'm like, I didn't know who he was. He talking. And then I say, okay, coach, I got to go back in because I got to, get ready. He said, man, I'm not a coach. My name's Joe Washington. Joe Washington? I was like, oh, my goodness. And then next thing you know, man, that game, I caught 8 passes. I had 3 touchdowns, right? Then we had to go to Baltimore. Caught 13 passes and 3 touchdowns in front of him. And to be in front of him, man, it was just unbelievable, man. He came over. He was like, man, my daddy would always talk about you because his daddy was the head coach, for high school. And he was like, man, my daddy always talk about you. But by him being at that game, man, best 2 games I ever had in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, just having him there, wow.
Yeah, man. It's up, man.
So when you were in high school, did you always want to be a receiver, or were you want to be a running back? What was young darn Narcisse?
Well, let me get started on my story. When I was growing up, like 6, 7 years old, I used to play in the neighborhood. We used to always play in the streets, man. And one day, I came home and I couldn't breathe, so my mom took me to the hospital. And she took me to the hospital, and then they found out that I had a heart murmur and I had asthma. So my mom was like, man, they put that mask on me and I couldn't breathe. My mama looking at me, man, and she was like, oh, I don't want my baby to die, And then once I got back home, she was like, hey, you can't play no more sports because you got a heart murmur and you have asthma. So I would play in the streets, man. I played, man. We played, man. We were balling in the streets. So it came time for me to go to junior high school. And in the 5th and 6th grade, I played the trumpet like my older brother because I couldn't play no football and nothing like that. So I played the trumpet like my older brother. And then when I went to junior high school, I was supposed to go try out for the marching band, but instead I went tried out for the football team.
Right.
And I tried out, didn't tell my mom because the marching band called and they were looking for me. And I answered the phone and I was like, hey, they was like, can we speak to Miss Narcisse? I said, oh, she's not here. I said, I'll let her know that y'all called. She didn't know that I went try out for the football team. Right. I tried out for the football team, man, and I made the team. I was on the B team. They have the A team and then they have the B team. Yeah. So it was some guys that was in front of me, man. They were fast. They were tall. So in the 8th grade, B team. 9th grade, I just played B team.
Mm-hmm.
My 10th grade year, I played 10th grade football, and then I played 11th grade football. My senior year, they only had one spot for a receiver. And as I was growing up, every year they would always have guys that was always in front of me. So it was like 6 guys that was already in front of me that was ahead of me. And my senior year, I passed each one of them up. I was the starting receiver for the Lincoln Bumblebees.
Wow.
And I look at that moment and I said, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. See, they were fast, but they never worked on these skills. And man, I outbeat them, right? And when I see them, like when I go to class reunions, I be laughing because they be like, damn, he's that slow joker. He beat me. He outbeat me. And I'm like, man, I got him, dog. I got him. And then I got a chance to play at for Lincoln High School. I made all district. I had 45 catches, 705 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And at that time, man, I thought, man, I was like, shoot. So I'm thinking I'm gonna give me a scholarship. That's all I was looking for. I was gonna give me a scholarship. I was 5'6", 145 pounds, but I can catch the football. So then I'm thinking about getting that scholarship, man. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Nobody wanted me, right? So it's a coach. The tight end coach. My tight end coach knew a coach that was coming from Texas Southern University to look at our quarterback. And he told the recruiter, which was his friend, like, hey, check this out. When you come out here to look at the quarterback, why don't you take a look at this kid right here? He got a great attitude. He works hard, and he can catch a BBA in the dark. And next thing you know, man, I got my scholarship. Got my scholarship. Hold on. I got my scholarship, right? So like in 2018, man, it was 2019. I got a chance to go back to my school and talk to the kids. And I brought Coach. And I told Coach, like I was telling the kids, I was like, if it wasn't for Coach Williams putting a good word in for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I got a scholarship because of him. And you never know from afar when you're doing work that somebody else is looking. And that's why you got to always do your work, man. You never know who's looking, and you never know who can help you out. So when I got a chance to talk to Coach, I had brought him in, man, and I was like, telling him everything, man. He was so happy, man. And, 5 days later, my coach, he had passed away, man. And when I seen, I was so happy that I got that chance to let him know what he did for me. Man, I keep this in here, man, because he did so much for me, man. If I wouldn't have got that scholarship, that one scholarship, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be no Don Narcisse. Just by doing that little stuff. He wasn't even my coach. He was just a tight end coach. Right. He put a good word in for me. And with getting that scholarship, man, oh man, it was a blessing, man. Got that scholarship. Next thing you know, I go to TSU, man. It's time for me to leave to go to TSU. I have a friend of mine, good friend of mine, man, that lives in the neighborhood. I used to play in front of his house. This guy here was like a brother. He was a neighborhood brother to us. When it came time for me to go to Texas Southern University, my mom and dad weren't able to bring me to Texas Southern University. So Robert Graham, my neighborhood brother, man, he took me down to Texas Southern University. But what he didn't know is that in the morning when my mama was leaving to go to work, I was crying because I had never been away from home in my life. So I had to kind of my mom was like, Donna Ray, look, everything gonna be okay. So she left and she came back and I was crying And then next thing you know, man, she left, and then Robert Graham picked me up, and then man, my mama had me with everything, man. She had everything for me, like toilet paper, all this, man. I'm like, and then when I get to Texas Southern University, at that time they had Hurricane Alicia coming, and I get to the university, man. I get to the my dormitory. It was already it's supposed to be 4 guys to a room. Had 3 guys already in there, and Robert Graham was with me. And I'm loading up. I had all kinds of stuff. My mom packed all my stuff for me. And everybody, the guys, I didn't know, but the guys were looking at me like, which one of y'all coming to play football? Because Robert Graham was tall and I was short, right? So they thinking that Robert was coming to play football, and I was his little brother. And I, you know, and the way my roommate said it, he was like, man, I thought, man, and then when they said you got a scholarship, I was like, man, the coach must have owed him a favor, other coach a favor to get him a scholarship. But he said, man, when I seen you get on the football field, then I understood what was going on, because I was a difference.
Right. And
man, it was just amazing. Then once I got to TSU, man, I was a freshman. I was 7th on the depth chart. 7th game of the season, I was number 1A. I was behind the freshman. We had another guy named Darryl Colbert. He was cold. And I was right behind him. So me and him had to alternate. Then, man, then here come another blessing, man. Next year, we got a new coach. Man, I happened to be down there working out in the summertime. Darryl, he was the freshman of the year. He over there with the new coach. And I'm like, you know, like, okay. So I went and worked out with the coach. I went and worked out with them too. So we doing drills and stuff like that. And we were doing a drill that you run over the dummies and catch the football. So I'm running, and he threw the ball, and I caught that joker like that, right?
You gotta be extra. You gotta be. If it wouldn't be you, if it wasn't a stitch extra.
I caught it like that, and he was like, he said, "Hey, come over here, man." He said, "Who are you?" I said, "Man, my name's Don and I." He said, "Man, I ain't never said nothing about you." He said, "What side you play on?" I said, "Man, I play on the same side as Darryl." He said, "No, not no more. You playing on the other side." And that's how I got my start.
Yeah, just
by doing something small. Just by doing in the summertime, doing something small, and I got my job just like that. Then next thing you know, the record for catches was 63. I tied the record at 63 my junior year. Then I broke the record with 88 catches. And I still got that record. So then I'm like, man, now it's time for the my dream was to always play professional football, man. Mm-hmm. And we had this guy named Harold Smith. He played for Saskatchewan. He was my freshman year, he was our quarterback. He went off to play in the Canadian Football League, playing in Saskatchewan. He came over and said, "Hey, man, the Saskatchewan Roughriders having a football camp in Shreveport, Louisiana. I think you need to go." I called my mama Colette, man, on the phone. And I told her, I was like, "Hey, mama, this guy named Harold said that they having a football camp, and I think I need to go." She said, "Well, Donald, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you $40. And I want you to give Harold 20, and you keep 20 for yourself." Went to the football camp. It's 400 guys at that football camp. 400. It was a 2-day camp.
Yeah.
After 2 days, they only wanted to sign 4 guys. Mm-hmm. Coach Greger came up to me. I was one of the guys they wanted. Coach Greger came up to me and he said, I asked him the question. I said, "Hey, man, do y'all need any receivers?" He's like, "No, we don't need no receivers, but we need you." And I got on that phone, called my mama, man. I was like, "No, Mom, man, it was so, how can I put it, man?"
Tell it. I could see that it
man,
emotionally it gets to you.
It's like, man, my dreams coming true, man. And then all of a sudden, I get back, and next week, the St. Louis Cardinals want to sign me. Like, me, man. So then, I signed with the St. Louis Cardinals. Man. And they brought in 12 receivers. They already had 5, and they brought in 12 receivers. And I was the only one from a D2 school or whatever, one AA. Everybody else was from D1s and stuff like that. So for the rookie camp, I was number 12 on the depth chart. I was like way behind everybody because nobody knew who I was. After 3 days, I was number 1. I was the one that was going to compete against the veterans, right? So then, before that, my signing bonus, I had got my signing bonus, right? Man, most money I ever had. It was $7,500. And I never knew anything about taxes, right? Because I'm like, why is my check $5,800 when it's supposed to be 75? I couldn't register on it, right?
Uncle Remus came and got that.
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure it out. Yeah. But what I did, I called my mom, man, and I told my mom, I was like, Mama, what I want to do is give you half of my signing bonus. And my mom was like, Donna Ray, you done made us proud. We don't want none of your money. And I was like, Mama, you sure? And at that moment, I was trying to figure this out with kids, mamas, and the parents. I'm like, man, my mom was like, you done made us so proud. So then I go to St. Louis, man. I go to camp, and then they have the big camp. We had the first camp, and then what I did, I stayed out there because they just had the little mini camp for the rookies. I stayed out there, and then what I did, I went and got in the hotel, and I used my money, my money to pay for the hotel and stay out there so I could learn a lot of stuff, man. I learned a lot. So then when it came time for the rookies to show up, like a month later, everybody had to show up, and then they had the rookie game. Well, what happens at the rookie game is like all the veterans come show up. They in the stands, and they looking to see who's going to take their positions, right? So I play in the game. I had 3 catches. 2 of them was touchdowns. I had 1 for 70 and 1 for 40, right? So then the veterans, they come up to me like, hey, man, we heard so much about you. Man, you keep doing what you're doing. I was like, man. And all the other guys, they from D1s. They was like, hey, man, what school you went to? TSU, man, Texas Southern University. And they just couldn't believe it. And like what I tell people now, I tell these kids that I work out, I be like, man, don't worry about all that stuff. I'm a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, all that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Man, I took those guys' jobs. They was like, So I made it all, man. Let me tell you, man. We had camp and stuff like that. I made it all the way to the last cut. I made it all the way to the last cut. And I remember this from the day, man, I got that phone call that I was getting released, right? And the first person I called was my mama, man. I had to call her Colette. At that time, you call Colette, man. And I called her and I told her, I was like, Mama, I got cut. And she said, baby, when one door closed, another one gonna open up. And then the next day, I had to go talk to the coaches. So I went and talked to the coaches. They were like, hey, just because you didn't make it here, you can make it somewhere else, right? So then the receiver coach pulled me in the locker room saying, I need to talk to you. I was like, okay. So then he was like, he said, Don, man, let me tell you something. You didn't do nothing wrong. And right then and there, I think coach knew he made a mistake because I started crying, right? And I was like, man, why y'all cut me, man? If I didn't do nothing wrong, why y'all cut me? He's like, man, let me tell you what happened. It's the the long snapper, that's all he can do is long snap. And that's why we was trying to get him to do something else. And he the one that took your spot. We don't want you to go to Canada. We're about to have a strike because there's only 47 players on the team. They didn't have no roster and all that stuff. And they said, hey, this team from Saskatchewan is calling you, and we don't want you to go.
Now, this was the 87 strike?
87, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then they sent it. I say, well, they wanted to give me $1,000. I said, well, send it to this address right here. And then the next morning, I had called my mom, and she was like, I was crying hard. Yeah. And she was like, and then she was like, well, where you going? I was like, I'm going to this place called Regina, Saskatchewan. She said, where is that? I was like, Mom, I don't know where it is either. And then I hopped on that flight, man. It was like 6:00 in the morning. And I got there at 9:30. Practice started at 9. And all I'm saying to myself, because I cried out there, I cried all the way there, I hope I don't have to practice. That's all I kept asking. I said, I hope I don't have to practice. So when I got there, they were like, hey, you got to practice. Mm-hmm. So you never know when you're going to get tested. So you always got to be ready.
Absolutely. Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready.
I'm that dog, right? I'm ready. So then I get my stuff on, and then I go out there and I'm start looking, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, man, this dude running toward the line of scrimmage, a receiver. I'm like, what is that? Oh. So then they stopped practice. They put 10 defensive backs on one side. Mm-hmm. 10 defensive backs on one side. Then they told me that I had to run 10 routes. First one was a hook. That was my favorite route. Mm-hmm. Beat them up. Next thing you know, I caught 9 out of 10. Next thing you know, at 1:00, the dude that was number 80, he was on air counter flying out. They gave me number 80. Oh. It was history.
See that? See, hearing that. And first of all, I could tell just that journey that you had to go through. Mm-hmm. That could break somebody. And not a lot of people can handle just the rejection. And knowing that you had to face that type of adversity already coming out the gate from being little boy, Port Arthur, you got the heart murmur, you got asthma, you had adversity from the jump. And from just my experience of seeing players that, or just friends or people that I know that wanted to play, that'll break them easily. So I can say right now that's a hell of a beginning just to even get to the CFL. And let's dive into that a little more. Because I already know, first of all, just the fact that you went to St. Louis, played for the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. I got a few choice words about that, because that was Gene Stallings.
Gene Stallings. And my quarterback was Ken Austin. He was there with me with the St. Louis Cardinals. Oh,
so you guys already had a previous chemistry already built into, and you did mention
Ken used to always come and talk to me and stuff like that. And when I got to Saskatchewan, I was like, man, why you talk to me? He's like, man, the coaches want to know a little about you and stuff like that. They love the things that you were doing and stuff. I was like, man, when you to be talking to me, I'm like, man, NFL player talking to me and stuff like that, man. And then we get down to Saskatchewan together. It's crazy, man.
Oh, man. So from when you got there, is it 88, 89?
87.
Okay. So from your rookie season, let's jump into that right there. First experience from seeing the pre-snap motion, everything. The game. Was it a hard transition for you, or was it? Hey, I'm gonna eat it up. I'm gonna soak everything, the knowledge that I can take from this, and just grow and add it to my game and see what happens.
Yeah, basically just what you said. I was just trying to see what happened. Yeah, because I was trying to figure it out. It was like Labor Day. Mm-hmm. I didn't, I knew that the team wasn't winning, and then having my first game, and I'm like, a home game. I'm like, man, there's so many fans out here, and they haven't been winning. I'm like, but the fans love their team.
Right.
You know, so it kind of really shocked me. I'm like, man, if you lose and ain't nobody want to come to no games. Yeah, you know, and that really shocked me, man, to see the Rough Rider fans out and stuff like that. But you know, playing for learning the game wasn't that hard. It's just that I did what I do, you know, what I learned, and you know, to learn how to do the 3 downs and stuff like that. But the one thing that I always did is try to be different from the other person, right? So when I was in college, my head coach used to always tell me that, Donald, one day you're gonna meet somebody that's just as good as you. What's gonna make you different from that other person?
Mm-hmm.
And what was a good part about it is that, you know, my nickname around the house was Don Swan, because Lynn Swan was my idol, right? Yeah. And my head coach was a receiver coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers for Lynn Swan. Yeah, so you know, and then when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, it was like when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, he said that he got 2 to 3 guys that he coached that's in the Hall of Fame. You know, he talk about me and, you know, and Swan and there's another one that they had. So it's unbelievable just to be telling that story and stuff like that, man. It's just, man, you put everything together, and like they always say, it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yes, sir.
Another thing is this, I have to say this one right here, dog.
The floor is yours.
For me to get to where I got, in 1988, I got a chance to meet this little kid. This little kid used to always come knock on my door, man, for an autograph. And I'm like, man, you come every day, man. I get him an autograph. His name was Paul. And he said his birthday was coming up. And I was like, man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come and take you out for your birthday. I'm going to come meet your parents and take you out for your birthday, right? So then next thing you know, man, I went and met his parents and stuff. And that was like in 1988, man. And I met his parents and stuff. And then in 1989, next thing you know, I was staying at their house and they took me in. I stayed with them for 11 years. I didn't have to pay no rent. I didn't have to do nothing. I was like family. When I get off from work, if I had a bad game, I had a family to go to. It was unbelievable, man, for them to take me in. They had 2 kids, you know, they had Paul, they had Renee, and they were like, one was 8, one probably was 10, and they took me in. And I stayed with them for like 11 years. And then it came time for me to break the record, man, for consecutive games catching a pass. It was at 137, and I was about to get to 138. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders had flew my mom in, and they flew my mom in, man, and my mom was so happy, man. You should have seen my mom, man. My mom was so happy. My mom was so happy, man, and she didn't know that I was staying at a white family's house, because I never said it at all. And she was so happy because that lady took care of her son. And she knew in the United States that would have never happened, man.
No, sir.
At that time, oh, man, you know, I'm staying there, man. My mom was so happy, man. And when I broke the record, man, I had both of my Canadian mom and my mom to come together and walk on the football field. That's one of the blessings, man. Man, if they wouldn't have took me in, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, man. I wouldn't be no Hall of Famer, man. For 11 years, man, they family, man. Just like, we still family.
That's it right there. That you hit it right there on the head. It's you never know who your extended family could be.
No.
That they're I can relate to that. I've got a family that, you know, I'm very close with as well. And you just it's something about when you get into your 20s, because how old were you when you got to Saskatchewan?
21.
21. It's something about, and maybe just from my experience going through my 20s, I'm 29, I'm about to hit 30. There's something about that 8-9 year run in your 20s where you discover life, you grow as African American men. You know how it is. We got to learn things. There's things that we got to learn how to move. And I think that just how you explained it, coming from Texas, where you obviously know that wouldn't happen.
No.
But when it's something about from my experience, even being in Canada, so welcoming, so loving, so they love hard, and when they see something in you, for somebody that don't know you from Adam and Eve, as I always say, they see something in you and they're like, we're gonna take care of you. And so I can relate and I can understand, that'll do something to you. And just for you to even have both moms there, man, you mentioned your mother, and I'm a mama's boy. You know, you know how it is with our mamas. Tell me about Mama Narcisse. Tell me what was she like, if she's still living. Tell me about your mother and what you've met. When we spoke on the phone, you mentioned a lot about her. Would you mind telling everybody what was it like living with
my mom was a great person, man. You know, my mom, you know, even though we had a family of 6, she always made each one of us feel special when it was our time. That was the good part about it, man. And she would do anything for her kids. You know, them $40 she gave me, man. My mom, man, when I was in college, man, my mom used to send me $20 every month. I used to live on those $20, man. They had this place called Frenchie's. They sell chicken, right? And man, best chicken ever. And I go buy me a Tampa special. It's a 3-piece, and I get the pepper with it, and I get the strawberry soda. And I used to manage, and it cost $1.99. I used to just manage that, make sure that I had enough, you know, and stuff like that. But my mama made sure that she made me feel so good, man. I had everything. I never hurt for anything, man. And the one thing, man, let me tell you this, man. Like, when I got the phone call for the Hall of Fame, they called and they said I was getting inducted. The first person I called was my high school coach. I called him up. Then I called my college coach. And then I called my mom. My mom had dementia at the time, and I tried to explain to her about what the Hall of Fame was about. And she was like, baby, if I can make it, because she was in the hospital, say, if I can make it, I'm coming. And 2 days, I'm looking at it right now. It's August 12th. I had to be there for August 12th. 2 days before we left to fly out on August 10th. She passed, I think, on August 8th, before it was time for the Hall of Fame. And we had the funeral after the Hall of Fame. But the $40 that my mama gave me, man, is unbelievable. I look at all the stuff that I did, man. I look at all of this, man, you know, all this stuff, man. Them $40, man. Them $40 is something else, man. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And she did so much for us, man. I just, you know, man, my mom, she just did it, man.
I understand. It's something about mamas. We go crazy over our mamas, and you don't. And me being a parent now, you know, I got a 17-year-old and 11-year-old, man. From a dad perspective, man, I run through hell and high water for mines, and my kids ain't never had to worry about nothing. It's just that you believe in your kids, and you see, in right or wrong, you hold them accountable, but still you love them and you do what you got to do for them. So to hear, man, you got me in my feelings now about talking about my mama, because my mama, I tell you right now, my mama, Like not, and just to be, since we talking, my mama, she played the role. She did everything that I know she gonna see this. I already know. So I'm gonna keep it a bean and keep it real. My mom was cold.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, like my mama had me like in later in her life, like 36. And so I'm her only child. I have older siblings from my father, whatever. And my dad wasn't really around. And so, and I had my stepdad. My stepdad came in my life when I was 5. And just knowing, like, going from just a one-parent household to now 2 people, that's different. You were blessed to have 6 siblings, all 6 of y'all, right. Your father, your mother. So that your mama plays such a big, big role, man. And hearing you talk about her, man, that's the same light I look at my mother. My mama, 5'1", maybe 5'1", 5'2" on a good day, bird legs, but she got a cold left hook, and I don't test it. My mama, I feel you, and I can imagine all y'all giving her the work, like just.
Oh man, oh yeah, we all of us had our time.
Oh yeah, I had my time. I had my time every day. It was just me. Who was I gonna sit there and blame? The wall, air. Right. So we talk about. Hey, we're at the point, like, we're talking about your first season, and then the Grey Cup, that first Grey Cup, the one that you got, 89. Tell us about 89. Who I'm trying to, because I started at 90 and I worked my way up, so I haven't gone too far to like the 80s. But tell us that experience in the Grey Cup 89. What was it like? Who'd you play? And give us the look on that one.
Well, we played the Hamilton Tigercats. Hamilton Tigercats were a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Our team was young, man. It was a lot of young guys that never been champions before, right? They had one guy to show up right before the game. It was a guy, motivator, right? Okay. So what he had us to do is put tape on our fingers, right, to simulate that you're trying to win the Grey Cup. Mm-hmm. So I'm a believer, I'm put my tape on during the playoffs. I'm like,
I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm all in on it. Yeah, I'm believing. So we all started believing that we could make it. And once we made it there, oh man, it was unbelievable, man. They didn't think that we were gonna do anything. Shoot, we shocked them. And then coming, all the way to the end of the game, shoot, man, the Jugger kicked that field goal, boy. I was like, oh my goodness, we won this. And that's one of the best moments of my life, because I never have been a champion before. Right. And there was a lot of us on the football team that never been champions at all. So it was it was unbelievable, because a lot of guys had to step up and stuff like that. It's not like we had the best team, but we all were together. And that was the good part about it.
Do you still have that Grey Cup ring?
Yes, I do. I used to wear it every day. I stopped.
Would you be willing to show people that Grey Cup ring?
Yeah, it's downstairs, man.
Don't worry about it. But I believe you. I believe I'd wear that thing every day.
I got it. Oh yeah, I got it. I put it on when it comes time to go, go places and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, man, that's something that you'll cherish for the rest of your life, because not too many people get an opportunity to go to the Grey Cup and even win the Grey Cup. So for me to just get one, I'm happy about it.
Right. You did. And from that point on, it was like, I think it was till 97 was the next time you guys went there. And learning and watching, I did follow. I've watched some of the games that 97 season. That was like hearing the CBC team talk about the 97 Rough Riders. Y'all was going up against a juggernaut, that Toronto team. Yeah. Oh yeah, like it. Doug, all that. Oh man, like y'all, when you went into the 97 Grey Cup, what was the momentum that you guys were on? Because you told me you guys were not expected to even on the radar to get there.
Nah, we wasn't. Yeah, but playing against Doug Flutie, man, that's unbelievable, dude. It was like, I had my roommate named Gary Lewis. He was a defensive end, and I used to ask him questions like, man, y'all can't get a hold of it. He's like, no, man. I say, man, that's why y'all be so tired, because they be chasing. He's like, He's like, man, it's hard getting him. I'm like, shoot, dog, that's that hard. Yeah, man, Duff, no joke, man. He wasn't no joke.
When you played in that 97 Grey Cup for you, and what was from the 89 Grey Cup win to the 97 appearance, what was the atmosphere like? Because that's about 8 years of like not you get that taste, you get that first like, man, I need more, I need that. You get fixated on it. What was that time like in that 8-year window before you got back?
It was different from 89. We had a lot of guys that probably been on the team for a while, for the 97. But it was a good game, man. At the beginning, it was a pretty good game. But that Doug Flutie wasn't no joke, man.
No, and credit to him, credit to Doug. Shout out to Doug, obviously the man.
I'm like, it was a different. Yeah, he made a difference. He made a difference.
How did you? I know, and you can testify on it. From when I watched that game, that 97 Grey Cup, it almost felt like y'all, when everybody else was saying there's no reason y'all should even be here, y'all put up actually a valid fight. Yeah. And it represented, you have for people that are the subscribers and people that are going to watch this to see the video, I would love for everybody to just go on YouTube, look up the 97 Rough Riders, and you'll see like, man, y'all had a hodgepodge team that.
Oh yeah, we were ready.
Y'all were bad. But what was the game that, like, I guess during that season, what was the game that, like, ooh, we might have a chance. We got a dog. We got some dog in us. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna make something happen. What was the game for you, or what was the moment that season?
It's so far back, I can't remember which one. I know, like in '89, I know what game really helped us out. But '97, we had Reggie Slack as the quarterback, and we was just making plays, man. We was just making plays. And what else happened in that one? They had Rocket Ishmael. Man, they were good, man. They was hey man, they was just good. I ain't gonna lie. They were good, man.
It's okay.
I'm not. Yeah, they were that.
I feel you. How did you handle the loss? Because you've been there, like I mentioned before, you've been there once. Take me through your mind. I know it's a long time ago, and you were a young buck, but how did you handle the loss? Did you just, I'll be back? I know you were like, did you already know, like, hey, time is winding down?
I never looked at time winding down. I always just look forward to, the next year and stuff like that. But that game there, man, it was a good game, but they were just a better team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was just a better team. Yeah.
So off of the 97 Grey Cup, we've talked about, you mentioned I mentioned earlier on the receptions record, the consecutive games with a reception.
Yeah.
How the hell you pull that off every game? Was it like, were you aware of the you were on pace to break the record, or when did that moment, like, well, damn, I done caught a pass every game, or is it just normal for you?
Yeah. Let me tell you this. when it came to, like, somebody came up to me and say, hey, you're about to break a record, right? So I'm like, what record? They were like, oh, you caught a pass in every game. I was like, you're supposed to catch a pass in every game. That was my understanding, right?
Yeah.
That was, I never looked at it that way. I'm like, you're supposed to catch a pass in every game. Right. And I did. So I played in 216 games. I caught one in every game that I played. I broke the record at 138. And I just seen a post on the receiver for Edmonton Eskimos. He had 140 right now. Yeah, I seen that. I was like, man, he got about, it's gonna take about 3-4 more years to get to that.
And he's 14 years in. He's 14 deep.
Yeah. So and what I understand now that I'm grown up and I'm looking at stats and stuff, not too many people can do that. I'm the only one that ever done it. I'm the only one in professional football done it in every game that they played. I'm the only one. Now, Jerry Rice, he did it, and then he didn't make it, and then he started all over again. I did it and never had to start over. And there's only one time that I wasn't going to, how can I say it? The coach that was coaching didn't want me to get it, right? And it was like about 2 minutes left in the game, and the players on the team was like, "Hey, coach, he haven't got his catch yet." And coach was like, "Ain't worried about that," like he ain't worried about it. And I was like, I never asked anybody for a catch.
Right.
I'm always get it. Right. So they put me in the game because coach had pulled me out the game. He didn't want me to get it. He didn't want me to get it. I knew it too. Yeah. It was I knew he didn't. So he put me back in the game. It was the end of the game. They had the third string quarterback in.
Yeah.
Well, the third string quarterback is supposed to hand it off to the running back. He missed the handoff. He scrambled to the right. I caught a 2-yard pass in front of coach, and I caught it right in front of him.
Hold on. I gotta close with that. First of all, I have to walk off from that one. If that isn't a doggone moment right there. What did you say anything? Did you just look at him like and
I ain't
what?
say nothing, but he looked like he was really mad.
Right.
Yeah, he was mad. Yeah. He was mad. And I was like, I don't and then I didn't know why. I'm like, why you don't want me to get it? Like, yeah, but he had it where I wasn't gonna get it.
Wait, hold on. What year was this? Do you recall what year this was, or?
That was like 98 or 99 with Cal Murphy. Cal Murphy was 99. Yeah.
Now, I don't need Bombers fans coming at me sideways.
Oh, you ain't gonna have no Bombers fans.
Nah, because they love Cal. I took a picture of Cal.
Yeah, but he didn't want me to get it. He had changed up the offense. He changed it up where we had 3 receivers instead of having 4 or 5. So he had me on the bench.
See that's another question I wanted to ask you, and then we'll move on.
Right.
Obviously in the NFL, all the offenses got these fancy names. The K-Gun with Jim Kelly and the Bills. Obviously, the West Coast offense with the 49ers. In the CFL, were there like were the offenses similar, like the principles, the concepts, or was it just, hey, we're just gonna go out here and say forget it? We're just gonna go we got a number, or was it like Air Coryell when it was like the numbers represented the routes? Tell us about that.
No, what it is for the receivers it's the numbers. Mm-hmm. It's the numbers. Like you'll have somebody to run a 7 route, you'll have somebody to run a 9 route, and in when he called the numbers, you'll know which number is yours, and then you just run that number. So you'll know if it's a 7, you'll know what a 7 route is. So if he say over here to the left, you run an 87. Right. Well, that means that the wide out is going to run a go route, and the slot back going to run an in.
Right.
And then on the other side, he'll call some numbers out, and that kind of like tells you what routes you're going to run.
Do you remember, like, if you could, I would love to like hear maybe one play. Do you remember any play call at all, or anything like that off the top of the head?
No, I'm not a quarterback. All I know is hey, what was my last number I get? Oh, okay, 83, 73. Okay, you want me to run an 87? Okay, 87. Okay, yeah, because you call it 87 over here, 97 over there. So that means if I'm 87, that means I'm running an in, and they got the other guy slot back running a go route. So I'm coming right underneath him. So
we talked about it on the phone. I wanted to bring it up again for the people. What was your go-to route? It was money every time. You knew it. You knew once he said the number, I'm out. Bye.
You see, the cornerbacks, they knew that I wasn't fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why they couldn't cover me, right? Because when you're not that fast, they thinking that I'm supposed to be way up here when I'm right here. So basically, I could run a hook and go like it wasn't nothing. Like once I run a hook, I like I tell kids, you run a hook like you're running a hook and go.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'm gonna hit you with the hook, and then I'm gonna hit you with the go. So I'm and then I'm out of there. And then what I knew how to do, I know how to cut you off.
Yeah.
Now once I cut you off, now you at my speed. You can't run now. I done cut your butt off. Now it's just me getting to the ball. For you to get to the ball, you got to come through me.
Right.
And that's what a lot of guys don't understand. A lot of guys want to just keep running down the field. And I'm like, dude, cut him off. You cut him off, then you don't have to do all of that. Because now he's going to run at your speed. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to explain to kids, the kids I work out now. I'm like, man, you don't cut him off. You're going to be all right. If you want to race.
I'm not here to race. I'm here to get separation and get this catch.
Cut him off. When I see the ball, I'm accelerate to it. Yeah.
So I got a little quick funny story for you. So I tell my subscribers all the time, and I watch the CFL stuff. I got on a playlist and I watch it every night before I go to sleep. And I was watching, I think it was 95 season. I think you guys were playing Edmonton. And I was cracking up laughing in bed because they were harassing you. And it was a flag. It was like I think you were wearing a dig or something inside. And dude, like, hit you in the chest. They was popping you in the head. And then one of them, you got up off the ground. You went up to the ref. And I couldn't read your lips. But I was the first to realize, dang, Unc is short. If the ref is taller than Unc, like, what's going on? So, like, was it for the young folks watching? The defense back then was different. Was it more physical? Was it more for you? Did you take advantage of them being physical, or was it more of I gotta be cerebral? I don't want to get touched, but it's football. I'm gonna get touched. I know if I hit this quick slant, I'm gonna get that lick. So
yeah, you're gonna definitely get hit. The key to it is this, man. I never really got hurt because I really never took a lick. I'll go down before a joker hit me hard. But
I know how to fall.
But I never looked at it, because if you try to protect yourself to not to get hurt, that's when you do get hurt.
Right.
So I always prepare myself to be okay. If I do get hit, I'm fine.
Right.
But if I'm not trying to get hit, that's when you get an injury and stuff like that.
Right.
And
so now that we get into like near the end of your career, you retire, you walked, went off. Did you get to go off on your own terms, or?
No, I don't think I went off my own terms, but it was the good part about it, man. I'm gonna tell you, the Rough Riders, they did me right, man. Oh man, they sent me on a flight to go to Hawaii with my family. Mm-hmm. I had never been on a trip with my family, right? With my kids and my wife and stuff like that. And man, best trip ever, man. Oh, we had a good time, man. Especially it was on their pay. They paid for everything. But the only one thing that happened, and man, I can't swim, right? So, man, I had my little daughter on a little raft, and I'm walking with her, right? In the water, and then all of a sudden, I couldn't feel the bottom.
Yeah.
And I panicked.
Right.
So I kind of like knocked her off of it, and I put her back on. She was like, "Daddy, get off. Because she's a little kid, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, she don't understand that we in trouble. So then I started hollering. Then this guy and his dad came over. And I was like, I said, man, I need some help. So he pulled me and swam with me to the other side, and the other one took my little daughter and brought her over. Boy, I was so happy, boy. I said, I'll never get in water again, boy. Yeah, but we had the time of our life up there in Hawaii.
So, well, first of all, I tell people all the time, anything over 6 feet ain't for me. I don't even if it's right here at my forehead or anywhere near my neck, I'm good. That's why I ain't never been to Hawaii. That water is tropical, the kind of tropical, but not that tropical. I ain't. No. And we both ebony complected, so that heat. Funny thing is, side note, there's a I think it was a picture on your Instagram. It was of you and your mother, you in your jersey, and you was fly back in the day, Unc. I ain't gonna lie to you. You was fly.
Had my little curl in and everything. Yeah, shit. That's when That's when she came down for the. I was breaking the record for the consecutive games of catching the pass, and they had this stuff called Rider Night, where some of the players will come out and dress up and stuff like that and walk the walkway and stuff like that, and she had the time of her life. I like, hey, Mom, you can't do that. That's one of my teammates, don't be shit, man, yeah. But it was something that the riders always had. They would have a night for the players to, they do the walkthrough and with clothes and stuff like that. So, but she had a great time, man. And then did she get a chance to get on the news? That was one of the best ones. That's the best moment. Shoot, she got a chance to talk to the news people and stuff like that, and how happy she was about her son.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
You was cold. You was cold, Unc. You had a little look to you. I ain't mad. You had the Master Key glasses. You was you was out there stunting on them. Ain't that many? Well, other than myself, when I go up to Canada, you know what I'm saying. There ain't that many of us up there that can pull that off. So props to you for that.
No. But I had a great time, man. I just, being in Saskatchewan, man, I did so, I love the people that was out there. And I used to have some kids that comes. I had this little program that they bring kids to come down and stuff like that for the football games. And the good part about it, man, I had moved back to Canada in 2010 all the way to 2018. And I was having football camps and a banquet. Man, I had raised over about $750,000 for my charity of choice within 8 years, and man, it was unbelievable. And then I had to move back because I had prostate cancer.
We were about to get into that. That was
my question. The prostate cancer stuff, man. Now that thing there ain't no joke. But the good part about it is that I put it on Facebook, and then next thing you know, it's 4 to 5 guys that hit me up that went through it, and they each one of them told me exactly what to look for and what to do. And man, I appreciate all 5 of them, man, for doing that for me. And then anybody else that has it, they can call me up. Like I had some guys call me up, like, hey man, how you got through this and do that? And I'm like, hey man, this is what you got to do, because those guys there had blessed me because they already been through it, and then I was able to pass it on. So yeah, but it's been good, man. It's been good.
It's a blessing to still have you here, man. We know that with we lead when it comes to prostate cancer. Something I don't know what it is. The numbers, it's just it's us as African American men. So for you to be able to, and even with it being Breast Cancer Awareness Month and all, like just can't is it? I think it's breast cancer. Breast cancer is October's Breast Cancer Awareness, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but still, like all the other cancer, just in general, gets a lot of notice. And for us, like I said, I don't know why it's us, but for you to have that supporting cast and just get through that, man, because not a lot of us make it through that. So it's a blessing to still have you here.
You need. I'm gonna tell you, you need some blessings, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't keep that to yourself. You keep that to yourself. I'm telling you.
No.
Yeah,
and this next question I want to ask. So, like, what has Don Narcisse been up to the last few years? Because you haven't been, like when we spoke, you said you hadn't been back to Saskatchewan like, is it 7 years? 7, 8 years?
No, since 2019.
2019. Someone said it was 7. I thought you meant 7 years. But tell me, can tell us all, what have you been up to?
Well, now I own my own van. I got a cargo van. I have a contract with a company that all I do is deliver to like CVS's and Walgreens and stuff like that. So yeah, so I own my own company and stuff like that. And I was a mortgage guy. I used to do mortgages. I did that for a long time, and now I pursue to have my own business and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I guess, man, I'm baffled just to even be sitting here talking to you for one. Just even this whole this conversation, having this conversation with you. And before we get up out of here, I just want to tell you, from you reaching out to me and us talking and the week ago and everything like that, I just want to say thank you. I would love. You are the first person to be on this segment. I guess you call it a segment or just conversation. To be able to have you on here and you really believe in me and all that stuff. I want to say thank you, personally, because not a lot of. I guess I'm gonna be real with you, to be transparent, just because you my man. It feels really good to have an older Black man who's been in the game, but also just somebody that I know I can look to and be like, I know Unc there. I know he believes in me. And I know I've been on this journey for a couple of years now, but to know that you believe in me and you always sending me stuff and just what you said in the beginning of this, man, I just want to say thank you. And I really appreciate you. And man, I needed this. I needed just that support. And I appreciate you.
Yeah, I was hoping that you didn't think it was a prank or anything.
I did. I ain't gonna hold you. I did. And I was like, funny story, when I saw it, I was like, ain't no way in hell Don Narcisse is following me. And then I did my little dig and I was looking at your profile. I was like, that sure enough is Don Narcisse. Ain't that about nothing right there? And I told you the story. I'll share the story. We talked about on the phone when I saw the game, and then you popped the thumbnail is your face with your your height, weight, college you went to. And I'm looking, I'm just like, hey, you look just alike. I hit mom's up, but I was like, Mama, I know my daddy, but you sure? I said that she's like, boy, what the hell you talking about? You daddy, your daddy. I was like, no, this man looked just like me. So he's like, boy, send me the picture. Show me the picture. So I sent the picture. And she's like, well, I'm gonna call you back. So I was scared. I was like, my daddy was Don Narcisse, my daddy. I was like, yo, all right, Mom. She gonna kill me. Like, boy, why you tell that? Like, they go BS the people. But no, I'm gonna say this right now, man. Thank you so much, for popping on, man. And you are absolutely not even just on some football stuff, but you are an amazing human being. Your story, I'm glad that you were able to share your story here, because not a lot of people that came before us, they don't really get a chance to tell their story. And that was the whole point of me starting this entire thing, is I wanted to be able to, I guess, have a place for current players or even players past tell their story. And your story is absolutely amazing. I was really hoping you would tell the $40 story for people that want to understand like what it's going to take, but also you got to have that supporting cast. So thank you again for popping on, and we talked for a good hour, and I really appreciate you. It's all love over here, and thank you.
Hey, thank you again, man. Now I haven't worn this jacket since 2010, man.
I didn't know that. I see now that. Man, that I ain't know all that. I ain't know all that. But hey,
let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Before we get off of here.
Yeah.
People always want to know if I still could do my touchdown dance.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, I gotta. Hold on.
Don't hurt him now. Don't pop that button now.
I ain't gonna pop that button.
Can you? Will you? I was gonna ask you this though. Also, man, next season, I'm going to be going on part two of my tour. And I wanted to ask you, would you be willing to come back go up to Regina, meet up there, man? And I know I could talk to the writers, man, and I would love to be able to just, I don't know, throw a ball to you in the end zone, man. I want to see if you still got it a little bit.
What do I?
Do you still got it? Have you gotten out there a little bit and said, hey, I want that man.
I can't run, but I can catch. Same old.
Oh, come with me one time up there. Let's hit the field one time, man. I want to hit the field with you one time. Yes, sir. Yeah, so for everybody, man, thank you so much for joining us, seeing this. Again, subscribe to the channel, all that, but also go follow Unc on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle, Unc?
It's just Don Narcisse. Yeah, okay. I'm on Don Narcisse. Yeah, they easy to find me, man.
Yes, sir. Go follow Unc, man, and appreciate everybody, man. And always remember, this is the motto for the show, man. You might be deep in this game, but you got the rules missing. We out of here, y'all.
There you go. Hey, there you go right there. Yeah.
Till next time, everybody. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
All right, man.